Join me as you and I you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
Howdy ho, people. It's time for the Written Writ. And today's special guest is Phil Russertt, because he's here to talk some dynamic stuff.
Blue right, Bus Phil? Special. What's going on, guys?
Anytime it's like one of the regulars, it feels weird going, and the special guest is. I'm like, no, it's just one of the guys.
I'm just amazed we're getting a video today. I never see you on video, man.
Not any more recently, I guess.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him.
Oh, you mean Naps? Oh, yeah.
Nat.
Yeah, Nat's been showing up on video, and it looks all good, and he's been...
No, that's because OBS and StreamYard, well, mostly StreamYard wants to be annoying.
Well, that's a StreamYard does.
And what happened? Shadow Rabbit he used to be on video, now he's hiding. What's going on here?
There can be only one.
Yeah.
We perfected the art of ventriloquism.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
It is true. You haven't seen it from the same place at the same time.
Shadow's in a stained wife beater right now.
Oh my God.
For those who aren't of my age, I didn't call him a wife beater. It's what you wear. It's that white Hanes t-shirt, like tank top t-shirt that you wear. They used to call it a wife beater because, like, anytime somebody in a trailer was beating on their wife, it would be wearing one of those with the stains all over it.
I mean, I certainly am looking tattered at the moment, but you know, thankfully I've got the avatar on. I mean,
the avatar looks cool, at least.
Thank you. That's my saving grace.
But hey, it is the year of the Shadow Rabbit.
See, it's the year of the rabbit.
Hey.
It's time to make some rabbit clay guys.
Dude, man, you got to make some rabbit clay guys.
It's definitely a thought.
This is different versions of the Shadow Rabbit.
Instead of Raging Rabbits by Ubisoft, it's now Raving Rabbits by the Rabbit Man.
Ooh.
The Rabbit Man.
See, this is why we pay the big bucks for these ideas, you know.
Here's a Shadow Rabbit special.
Oh, there we go.
Showing off the Shadow Rabbit special.
Tragedy. Dude, and he did it so she stands without you having... Special. Now, he put the magnets on the bottom if I want to magnetize her on a stand, which is awesome, like a spinning a Lazy Susan, but he made it so she could just stand on her own.
I love the fact that he has the
coming down the wall like a ninja, you know?
Exactly. I love the fact that he has the magnets on the bottom of them. I know Tony likes to put it up on his bookshelf. And he has
I love that you guys give me cool stuff to make. You know, that's
dude, she's up there with all my Marvel and DC statues. She's right next to Wolverine.
Oh, I can think a few cooler places to have my work displayed. Thank you, man.
Man, look at this lovely bunch of people. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, that guy.
What's up, Jordan?
It's the guy who's usually next to me.
Exactly. I think Jordan's over there having fun by himself.
Nah. Nah.
It's been one of those days, I guess.
Where is the video for this? They could share it out.
I can do that, right? Hold on.
Could share it on my page.
As you guys talk, I'll do the behind the scenes stuff I usually do.
Oh man, should we just jump into some hot water? That OGL, right?
Everybody's still talking about that thing. They made a big mistake with what they did. I don't think Dungeons and Dragons is going to recover from this. I do feel like they're not going to lose everything.
What happened?
You know, Dungeons and Dragons and their OGL mistake.
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, so they decided that they were going to change the deal they had with everybody else on their license for
open gaming license.
Dragon, and they were going to charge people and change a bunch of different things. And all the companies went, well, we're not going to give you anything. We're just going to make our own.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right. So for what? How many years? 20 years or something? They've had the open
Who
gaming
knows?
license,
Whenever they
basically.
care. And then
Yeah,
not
which
only that, they can also like pull your content and make it their own because you're using the OGL.
Well, that's what they're saying
But
now.
it's still going to be your content. It's just they can now make money off of it.
Right.
Right.
Which is what they
If
did.
you ever try to use, sell, or play it again, they will sue you into the twilight.
Yep.
So anyway, Suits at Hasbro betrayed the gaming community by trying to pass a fast one on them.
In other words, if you want a really cool game to play that is completely different from D&D, check out Emberwind.
Yes, Emberwind is a fantastic new game.
Emberwind, can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
It's a really cool system that you could use dice, you could use cards. It's pretty open to whichever way you want to do your D&D campaign, and there's sort of a lot of creativity, a lot of world building, a lot of classes as well. And if you ever have any questions, you can just ask the Nomnivore team, and they'll be right there to help you out.
Definitely. Dude, man, we love those guys. They did a fantastic game. It's amazing that you can do a game where you don't actually need a dungeon master, or the guy who's playing as dungeon master can actually play the game. Wait, they call it something else. I think it's a game master, a GM.
Exactly. Remember, you can't use D&D terminology. You could use DOD terminology, though.
Let's see. Watching anime with the girlfriend. So that's why my face is showing up on the screen.
I hope you're watching a good series, man.
Look, this guy named Phil Russertt says, Will played in Robert Powers, Kevin Stewart, and Alex Sarabia. And I'm not sure who those people are.
Those are all my peoples, my artists that I represent.
I know every single one of them. They're all great. Beautiful art. Yeah.
Alex is rocking it on my horror book, and Rob obviously couldn't be on tonight. He's rocking the dynamics. Will Playton's rocking Withered. Kevin Stewart just did a tragedy cover, so it's awesome.
I gotta admit, Phil, you do a good job of utilizing the artists for the best project that you'd be on. You know, like you get the feel from the artist of the book. You know, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes, you know, you got a good artist that's on a book, but you don't get the feel of the book from the artist, or you got a beautiful art on a book, but the writer doesn't capture what the artist is doing. So, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I usually, you know, have a vision of what art style I think will fit the book, and I just so happen to represent such a versatile group of guys that, you know, it's all right there at my fingertips. You know, like the tragedy manga, I got Kenny doing that, and he's doing a fantastic job on that. And then, you know, Will has got like crazy portrait art and like those detailed pencils, and I just thought he would be perfect for the Angels and Demons story.
Right,
and then Rob, yeah, and then again, oh, dude, you got to see the cover. Is
that the one that you put up where it looks like a playing card?
No, that's not Will. That's Roy Mercado.
That's a nice cover. I like that one.
All right, dude, look at this shit.
Oh,
sorry, I cursed.
Don't worry, I think I did it first. Let's see, I'll put you up. Oh, that is nice.
It's gonna be painted. It's Satan on a throne with his lesser demons chained up at his feet.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
He's probably gonna get annoyed that I showed you that. Yeah, it's not. It's not even close. The pencils are rough for him.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna paint it.
We've seen Will work live here on the show, so
yeah, he's crazy. I honestly don't know how these guys aren't bigger than they are. Maybe I'm biased. I don't think so, because I asked to represent them because of their talent. You know, it's not like their family, but you know, blood family. But I mean, Will is just incredible with what he can do. They all are, and I'm surprised that they don't have bigger followings. But that's what I'm working at.
Yeah, it's just a building process, you know. Once people see what they can do, hopefully it gets out there, you know.
Yeah, you know, and I
You do
got
it.
the slackers like Kevin Stewart that I gotta pull along, you know, because he's I'm just kidding. We tease and joke each other all the time with each other. We're a pretty tight group.
I think the good thing is though that instead of just waiting there to get these people onto things, the fact that you guys are using the publishing company to actually like show off the artist as well, it does well showing off your writing, but at the same time you're actually showing off what these artists can do. Like we were saying before, you tend to figure out how to utilize the artist where they fit the best. So I think that kind of is a double-edged sword on the good side.
Well, you know, I'm glad you see that. First of all, hey Zach, what's going on? I appreciate you saying that and noticing that because you know, I'm trying to integrate everything together. You know, I really feel if I build up the publishing company, I can help build them up that way. You know, I mean, we obviously they have other books they work on, and we've done our share of portfolios to the big companies and stuff. But you know, it gets to a point where you say you invest and spend all this time and continually going to these big companies that either promise you lies, you know, they tell you yes and you're ready to go, and then they don't respond, or they don't respond at all. They say, well, you're almost there, blah blah blah. And all that time and energy you're investing to get in with the big companies, and then people are always disappointed when they do. I'm like, do it myself. We're in a day and age where you can. I mean, it takes a lot of work and maybe a little luck, but it's not it's not like you can't do it.
Right.
You know, all
It's
that
no
energy you
different
spend
than
into
working
somebody
for
else.
anybody, right?
What's that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the same amount of effort you put in working for
Yeah, I
someone else
mean,
too, you know.
I'd rather invest that energy into me than into somebody else who doesn't really give a crap about me, you know. But obviously, you know, it's nice to get those credits for the artists, but in this industry, you get a DC or Marvel book, you didn't make it. You're always going to be proving yourself for the next book. I know people that have gotten on plenty of books. They did amazing work, but that doesn't mean they're guaranteed a job tomorrow. So
Because even the bigger names, from the Marvel and DC books, they still have trouble getting whatever is coming next off the ground, or it's sometimes you live off the buzz, but it's very rare that you do.
well, I mean, and this is what's that, Shadow?
Yeah, that's why they're all, even the writers are all opening Substacks and everything, you know.
Yeah,
like big name people.
Yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion. You know, you're welcome to disagree. I think Image scared the hell out of them, so they don't want fans buying books because of the artist or writer. They want them buying the books because of the IP. I think they're afraid if they build up artists and writers and they become too big and too popular again, they can do what the guys from Image did. I mean, also, I think overseas artists with the exchange rate, they can pay less. But how many legendary superstars have come out of in comics since the year 2000? Since Image, right, in the 90s? Can you name any? If you named 20, you can name like 50 legends prior to 2000.
Yeah.
You can't name any now. You can name some really quality artists. I mean, there's some amazing artists, you know, Jose Luis and Tyler Kirkham and, you know, and Dan Mora. But are you putting them in the same category as Kirby and Byrne and Cockrum? No, you're not. You're not. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm not saying they're not that talented, but people just don't.
But it's what you're saying though. It's not that they don't deserve it. It's that people don't want them to be big anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're getting shopped as big anymore. And when they're overseas, it's hard for them to come to the American market and American conventions. You know, Jose
You got,
Luis,
like,
have you ever
graphic
seen him?
design guys who are big, but they just do cover art, you know.
Right.
You know, Boss Logic, something like that, you know.
But again, they're not in the same conversation as legends. They're famous and they're well sought after, but no one's putting them on a Mount Rushmore.
But again, I feel like it is the industry that is doing this because the industry's scared.
Yeah, they're not giving them opportunities.
Yeah, they don't have the power that names used to have, is probably the best way to put it, right? They're not the driving force behind any project at this point. I mean, even guys like Scott Snyder now are just doing their own thing on the side. They're not a driving force.
Yeah.
No?
He's one of the Substacks. He's on there now for a lot of his new stuff.
And that's how it is now. Now you got to go find a side job to work while your main job is over there. And supposedly, because you know how it used to be. It used to be that, okay, fine, well, you finally get to Marvel and DC, you've hit it big, but it doesn't feel like that anymore.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name them, but I can name 5 people that I'm friends with that they legitimately straight up are amazing. And they've gotten books, major titles, but they're still fighting for the next gig. You're always constantly proving yourself. And there's so much talent out there. You got to remember too, with the digital age, with social media, it used to be harder. There wasn't the influx of competition in the sense that, at conventions, they would do portfolio reviews and they would line up and they blah, blah, blah. Okay. But now with emails and social media, you could just flood these publishers with hundreds of thousands of quality artists submitting every day. Not everybody's going to get a job. There's not that many titles.
Even though Marvel seems to be putting out stuff out of their butt. Like, what was it? They had like 20 something titles recently coming out at the same time.
See, and this not to sound like a curmudgeon, a cranky old man, but this is one of the frustrations you have as an indie creator. Look, I know every indie creator thinks their project is great, and some of them just really aren't. I understand. But I know a lot of indie artists like Christopher Elston and his girlfriend that do Rabbit's Badass Song, for example. Not shout out Rabbit's Badass Song, but Rabbit's Badass Song.
They're cool people, I know.
And the book is phenomenal, but they're not getting any notoriety or credit. Nobody's talking or buzzing about them, and yet I think we've become so accustomed to garbage entertainment, at least in the Western world, that people complain about these shows, but they keep going back and watching them. They complain about comics, but they're buying them every week, but they won't give a new book a chance from some no-name. It's like, I don't trust the no-name. It's probably garbage. Okay, but you're still investing money in the garbage from the people it's like they'd rather spend money on the garbage they know than the stuff that may not be garbage that they don't know. And that's a little frustrating for creators, and we all feel that way. I don't know what the fix for that is, because I do know that a lot of entertainment is how much you shove it in people's faces. Hey, On.
Hey, Anvu. Speaking of great artists, Anvu's fantastic.
Yeah, she has I packed them all up. I have the cover for Tragedy 4 from her. I just packed up. I have her comps ready to go out in the living room.
That's right. You just finished putting all the stuff for 4 together because you're getting ready to pull 5 out, right?
5 is going to be out in May, and the book is going to be finished with illustrations this week, and then I'll be going to colors.
Nice.
And letters are fast. Jason Meadows is just lightning fast with letters.
I gotta admit, though, you are like really moving now. It looks like you got a project almost every month this year.
Well, unfortunately, the schedule had to change because I can't control printing issues and I can't control artist paces, and because the artists I have working on things, they're also on other books,
right?
So they can only do so much in a day. But I will tell you, I've got 5 issues of Dynamics written. I've got 6 issues of Withered written. Whoa. I've got 26 issues of Tragedy written. I've got 5 horror stories written for Diary of Dread. I've got 3 Tragedy villain one-shots written. And I've already written Dynamics 1. I've already written my prose book, which is here.
Charles.
Hey, Charles. So Yeah, I've written over 50 something issues, and that's with me working my 3 day jobs. So,
dude, how do you do it? Because
don't
you
sleep.
know, it amazes me, you know, especially when it comes to writing, because you know certain people get stuck in their mind when it comes to the writing process. You know, how are you able to crank it out like that?
See, I'm very lucky because, and again, I'm not here to, you decide if I'm a good writer or not. Hey, Greg. Hey, Glenn. You decide if I'm a good writer or not. I'm not here to tell you I am. I'm not here to tell you I'm not. I'm just telling you I like what I write. I feel comfortable with what I write. I can sit down and write an entire 30-page issue in 8 hours or less. And because I don't overthink it, I kind of make it up as I go, as if I was telling my kids a story, a fantasy story. And I don't overthink it. And when I do dialogue, people tell me my dialogue is very realistic. It's not force fed or anything because I'm 50 years old. I've met a lot of people. I've met all types: narcissists, selfless people, guarded people, jealous people, angry people, you name it. So I just draw from life. When I pull character up and say that character's personality is neurotic, I just think of people that I've known that were neurotic and how they answered you when you spoke or how they reacted to situations, and I just go with it. And I think, I mean, I'm sure I'll get stuck at some point, but I don't get stuck because I don't force anything. Like I don't. When I wrote the horror, it's because the story just popped in my head.
Right.
And I was like, and my wife will say, that sounds cool, but how are you going to flesh that out for such and such pages? I go, oh, I'll figure it out. I don't worry about it. And I sit down and things just start to come to me as I write them. And I can't, without spoiling 39 Cedar Lane, something really cool that I added literally at the last second on the last page that just really adds so much to the story. Was not planned. I made it up as I went. And I didn't even know how I was going to go about. It's the people in my head talking.
Yeah, we all know that, especially as writers, people are always talking in our heads.
Well, it's funny because I never wanted to write horror because I'm not even a big horror fan because I always feel like dark. I was the guy that when I played the Knights of the Republic, I had to be a Jedi. I couldn't go Sith. I just
Right.
can't. And I didn't write horror because it was just dark and negative and it was just where I didn't want to go. But this story came in my head. And then all of a sudden, 4 other stories popped up in my head. And they have twists in them that people don't see coming. I'm very proud of that. And Alex Sarabia is an artist for 39 Cedar Lane, and he's a big horror fan. And he said to me, he goes, there's a psycho in you, isn't there?
But it's funny, Phil. I think you hit it on the head, though. I think horror has become that now. But when we first started looking at horror, it was different. There wasn't this darkness to it all the time.
Right.
Of course, there was darkness to it, but most of the times you had this mixture of
slapstick parody kind of.
Exactly. You know, now
like
it
Killer
has to
Clowns
be
from Outer
slasher.
Space.
It has to be, and you're like, no, come on, let's go back to. Sometimes in the end, you can show some light. Come on.
Give into dark side, we have cookies. Well, I think the reason why I was okay to write these stories was because, as much as there's some gruesome stuff in it and it's really nasty, it was the twists. It was me wanting to trick and surprise the reader that kept me interested. Now I screened my scripts with a bunch of diehard hardcore horror people, a lot of them, and I want people to be honest, like that, dude, this failed, or dude, I knew it right away, or dude, this just wasn't horror enough for me. Every one of them said it was really good. And the last one I wrote, the one person said, I forgot, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of, damn, that was like unending freaking evil at its highest or something. And I was proud. I was appreciative. I mean, I don't know if people are placating me. I hope they're not, but I'm getting great reviews on all my writing, and I have no writing background. I could not tell you in any technical terms how to write. I've I've had people get mad at me because I just write on the fly and I can write a whole issue. And like every tragedy issue that's been out that you've read, I just wrote in anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. I just sat down and wrote it, had not much in mind. Things pop up as I go.
That's good though, because you're just going with the flow, and each writer has their own process. So I don't understand when people get upset at writers for the way they do things. I'm like, well, that's the way that writer does something.
Well, I think they get frustrated because again, here I am new, and I come out and I'm just writing, and they're really putting a lot of effort into things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the research part of things. I had to research stuff. When I get into ancient China with tragedy, and I'm dealing with the first emperor of China, I had to do research. I have a book coming soon that I had to do a lot of research of different cultures. So it's not like I don't research, but when I actually sit down and write, I just write. And I think some people get frustrated. Like, you know what? I deliberated on this script for 4 weeks and I went back and edited 50 times. I guess I'm okay with what I put out there. And if you're not, okay, cool. But I'm not going to stress and worry. I'm not writing. I used to think when a writer said, I don't write for the fans, they were being a jerk. But now I understand it. They're not saying they don't care if you like it or not. They're saying, I can't write with worrying about pleasing everybody in mind because You're never going to please everyone. I can only write what I want to write, how I want to write it, the way I love it, and hope that you like it too.
I completely understand because when I write, I just write for me. I don't really care how it's perceived on the other end. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, you don't like it.
I mean, I do want everybody to like it, of course. I mean, nobody ever wants to hear your writing sucks, but I don't worry about it.
Exactly.
When I write, I don't worry about it. Also, look, I have, my wife will tell me if it's crap.
Haters gonna hate.
And it's when they get mad at me, it's not like they're rooting against me, but I think they're just frustrated. Again, imagine you're a writer of how many years, or you went to school, and here I am I look like a fraud to you. I get it. I don't.
I've seen it. I've been told things.
It's like, you're an artist who studied your whole life and you went to school and you put thousands of hours into drawing, and here comes somebody who just started out and they're already at stage 2 or 3. You're kind of like, well, they didn't pay their due. People always feel like they get mad if you step in luck or if you land into a good situation because they had to earn it, you have to earn it. And I don't think about those things in those terms. I'm like, all right, you know what? If I'd rather earn it because it's more worthwhile to me. But if somebody didn't, okay, as long as you're a good person, good for you. I'm glad you got a shot,
I completely agree with you. Like, I really don't get why.
F them.
Say that again, Shadow.
A simple response to people who want you to, pay your dues and climb the ladder and all that at your expenses. Are we demonetized yet? F those people.
We said
man.
2 curse words, so yes.
All right, well,
I just
look at
this
these fucking people who have a problem with you doing your best. It's their problem, I mean, you just once you put art out into the world, it's not just yours anymore. Obviously, but if someone looks at somebody who got a good break or is doing well, and they're like, "Well, I didn't pay their dues," they're just making things shittier for everybody. And if you've got something special, and the only way you keep it is by keeping someone else down, then you don't deserve it, and you're going to lose it deservedly. So. Strong.
Yeah, again, and I don't want to portray these people as like they're wishing me ill. I think they just lightheartedly get frustrated. But there are haters out there, and I get annoyed, and I give into certain confrontations that I didn't start that I should probably walk away from sometimes. That's absolutely true. That's just because I'm Irish and I get pissed off, and assholes are assholes, and I like to call out assholes as I would like to be called out when I'm an asshole. But
every country's got toilets,
Yeah, but for the most part, as much as you may think, there's a lot more vitriol that comes my way that I do ignore, because the tactic of those that hate you is to distract you.
Yeah.
If they keep your focus off your game, you're not playing. It's like when you play sports and they trash talk you. They're trying to get you mentally unfocused, right? So you start Like you're playing basketball, now you're throwing bricks because you're so angry and you're so focused on what this idiot's saying about your mother that you're not focused on your game. I'm sorry. You can trash talk me all you want. I'm focused on the rim, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, the best response to anybody who's trying to put you down is to succeed.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Yeah,
that's how you quietly say "suck it."
Yeah, that's what the haters are after. The haters want you to fall apart, for their stuff to actually get to you.
Now, here's the funny thing, though. A lot of people tell me how successful I am and how much I've done in a year or two and and it's all kind and it's all appreciated, but I don't see it. I haven't done shit. And that's what keeps me hungry. You asked me, how do I get all this done? I have never been more motivated in my life I am the closest I've ever been to having everything I ever wanted in life.
Right.
And I am not going to be deterred. I have a family that I love and I'm proud of. I have a home. I have a career I'm proud of. My health is the best it's been in 20 years. And there's one single thing left. And that's to become this publishing company, put out books, and be able to do it for a living. And I'm telling you, ain't nothing stopping that. I mean, how many people can say that they're one thing away from having the complete life that they ever wanted?
Right.
And after 50 hard years, I'm this freaking close. Nothing is stopping this. Nothing other than God's will. If he takes me off the board, that's God. But nothing on this human earth is stopping this. So jump on board now because it's going to be a good ride.
Oh, that you can see it. You can see that you're motivated. You're going in which direction you're going. What you really can see is that it's more of a dream that you're trying to fulfill instead of building a conglomerate all that you're trying to everybody wants to make money, but you understand what I'm saying. It feels more creative.
Look, I don't need to be famous. I don't want to be Todd McFarlane. I don't need to make millions. If I can make enough to where I can live comfortable, not worry about paying bills, and do this for a living, I'm the richest man on the planet. I mean, yeah. What am I going to do with all that money? Die with it? Stop. The only reason why making a ton of money would be great is because then I could help others and share with others and lift other people's dreams and spirits up. Because you know what? It's hard, man. Life is tough. People get kicked in the teeth so much, and I've seen a lot of people fold. And it makes me sad for them that they don't kick me in the teeth. I'm going to smile. I'll be bloody as hell. I might be teeth swinging like, saloon doors. I don't give a shit. I'm going to smile at you. And I'm going to say, what else you got? Because I'm telling you, man, after the shittiest of lives, I mean, no, there's people that have had worse lives, but on the average life, I've had a really crappy life. And here I am. I finally have a life.
Yeah.
And I'm not done. I'm not done. And I need to show my kids that life is what you go grab. Work for it and grab that son of a bitch with both hands. And you embrace it and you hug it and you hold it and you don't let it go. And don't you ever let anybody take it from you. And I want to teach my kids that because a writing on a wall is bullshit.
Yeah.
The writing on their wall says dream big. Don't dream big, do big. Be big. That's why I call it Legendary Illustrations, because I used to always say, be legendary.
Yeah. And you do a great job because I love what you did with the dynamics. It's an amazing book. I think people really need to pick this up because it feels like classic superhero fare, and this is the kind of book we grew up with in the 80s. It's a beautiful superhero group, a team book, a family book. And I feel like people have forgotten, that this is one of those dynamics that you used to have. The X-Men, as much as it is a group book, it's a family book. Fantastic Four, definitely a family book. And I think people have forgotten that this whole dynamic of the team being more than just a team.
And that's why I called it dynamics. They have dynamic powers, but there's the dynamics of the family and the team. And, as a dad, you know what I'm talking about. you love your kids more than anything, and they drive you nuts sometimes. You love your wife more than anything, and she drives you nuts, and you drive her nuts. And there's all that.
Yep.
And the book just has humor. It has realism. Hey, kitty. And I was about to say a joke, but that would probably get you kicked off. But again, yeah, it has superhero action. I feel like obviously this isn't doing tragedy numbers, right? Otherwise it'd be like 13 grand.
Yeah.
And I know it's a tough time of year. I know there's recession, but I also think people, maybe they look at this like it's a kiddie book. It is not. It's just okay for kids to read. It's appropriate for children to read.
See, that's how it used to be. It used to be that as a kid, I can pick up a regular comic book and read it.
Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. I always say the same thing. I would pick up Fantastic Four, which it was supposed to be above what what children should be reading, especially for all the big words like nuclear dynamics or whatever it was that was in the books, and I would have to go find out what it was that Mr. Fantastic was talking about. But I can actually read that comic book and not worry I'd be engrossed in it, and I would understand what's going on.
And that's the thing is, I hear a lot of people talk about comics aren't for kids anymore, and comics are this and comics are that. Well, here you go, guys. Here you go. I love darker stuff like The Boys. Tragedy is darker. I mean, it's not as dark as The Boys, but tragedy is more of an old, like a teen and older, 14, 15 and older book. So I'm not against that, but we kind of have to have the other side too, right? I mean,
exactly.
this is lighthearted, but there are serious moments, and the storyline. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but you've got these parents that are what you call naturals. And they're naturals because it's a bloodline thing. Actually, the father is a natural and the mother is a new gen. New gens had their powers created, whereas naturals were born with them.
Right.
And this actually is going to tie into tragedy later down the road if I can keep the dynamics going, because it's in the tragedy universe. And there's things that are going to go on with that storytelling, as well as, the parents are being recruited for an agency to use them for their powers to help police powered people that go bad.
Right.
And the parents are keeping that a secret from the kids, and the kids are secretly sneaking out at night using their powers trying to be heroes, because the parents are like, you can't show off your powers, you're just kids, you're 10 and 8. And it doesn't have that in the first issue, but this is where it all starts to evolve into. And there's other characters, and then there's a big villain called Agent Alpha.
Right.
And he's not a joke, And there were moments, I had people read issue 4, and they actually teared up with something that happens because it appeared to be a parent's worst nightmare.
Mm.
But things work out because, the hero has to be the hero. And I write my books with characters that we can root for again. I'm tired of this trope where the hero has to be torn down, ripped down, quits, gives up. I can't do it anymore. Ben Kenobi, everybody else, Boba Fett, everybody. And someone else has to come and lift them up.
Right.
If you need somebody else to lift the hero up, then are they the hero? No. Rocky didn't, yes, he needed Adrian's support, but he was ready to get in the ring. He was going to take the punches. He was like, let's go. I just want to go toe to toe. I don't need to win the fight. I just need to know I can be standing when the bell rings.
I know you and I have talked about this before, but it's the whole concept of, people don't like those heroic heroes anymore because they feel like they're boring, or a lot of writers find them boring to write. But I find that the heroic hero is a much harder character to write than the easy anti-hero, because with an anti-hero you don't have to work. With a heroic hero, you have to figure out how to keep them heroic.
And that's the thing is, you can write, people think it's always extremes these days. The hero has to fall to be picked up again. No, the hero can struggle with things. They
Mhm.
can struggle with human emotions. They can feel like quitting. They
Yeah,
can feel self-doubt.
exactly.
But what makes them a hero is that they don't listen to that voice, that they still push forward. And we need that message now more than ever. We've got generations of people that just they're giving up, they're quitting, they're depressed, they're on anxiety pills. I mean, what the hell, man? Pick up your pants, put on your shoes, put on your shirt, dust yourself off, get the F up, and go do what you got to do. And we need heroes that reflect that. We need heroes that, yes, they get punched in the face. Yes, they get their teeth kicked in. Yes, they want to quit. Who doesn't want to quit at some point in their life? But heroes don't quit. They stand up just at the moment where you think they're going to fall. That's a freaking hero. You can make them human. You can make them faltered and flawed. But at the end of the day, they're going to look at adversity in the face and smile no matter how frigged up they're looking and say, what else you got?
It's funny that you say that because I always the controversial I don't like the Dark Knight Batman because Batman doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. And that's why they write him in. When you're watching the third movie, he's given up. He's not Batman anymore. He's not doing it anymore. And that the concept just didn't fit in my head. I was like, well, why did he quit? He doesn't quit. Isn't that one of the issues with the character is that he goes far above where he should go, and sometimes he sacrifices things he shouldn't sacrifice because he won't quit.
Well, I think there's power in victimization today. Like me growing up, being bullied or whatever and fighting every damn day. I didn't grow up wanting to be a victim. Nobody wanted to look like a victim. You wanted to look strong.
Yep.
Today, it seems like there's a sense of empowerment with being a victim. Like I get to associate myself with some sort of oppressed group of people, or I had this, or the life is too tough. And listen, there's a quote from the past, which is a song from Rush. It says, "No hero in the tragedy, no daring in your escape, no salutes to your surrender, no novel in your fate." We can't be rewarding people for quitting, and we can't be telling you that that's okay with our entertainment and our stories. It's not to say you can't write a story where someone falters. I mean, I have a story where that's going to happen, but it's just too much right now. Our entertainment has become so dark and negative that even when it's lighthearted, like She-Hulk, she's sleeping around, she's drunk every episode. Those aren't virtuous things that you really want to show people, right? I mean, I'm not saying don't write those shows, but they can't be everything.
Exactly. I feel like every show is like that now. Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like tattoos used to be the rare thing, right? Now everybody has tattoos. It's rare to not have one.
Yeah.
And I think it's what happened in entertainment. It used to be taboo to go dark and show a kid get killed on movies. Now it's so common to kill a 6-year-old in a TV show and nobody bats an eye, and we become desensitized to it. So I wanted to write a book that was the antithesis of all that. I wanted to write a book that was fun and positive. And yes, they're going to face adversity and there's going to be tense moments, but at the end of the day, these are people you root for, heroes you look up to, relate to. And maybe, just maybe, and I don't know, but maybe you look at some of these stories like tragedy and you see what this woman has gone through, and the fact that she's still getting up and she's trying to make her life and do the right things. And maybe you look at yourself and say, all right, I don't want to get up today. I hate my job. I hate my life. Well, how am I going to change that? Because you don't change it by staying under the covers in a fetal position. You don't change it by being on anxiety meds or killing yourself. You change it by getting the hell up and doing something about it. And if you don't know what to do, figure it out. But instead of spending your time watching garbage entertainment, focus on your life.
But it's funny because you do a good job at putting the family dynamic into this book. You can, even in the first issue, you feel the closeness of the family. You feel the issues the family are going to have because you can already see which direction that's going to go in. You can see that the kids are going to want to do stuff with their powers. You can see that the parents are going to be worried about that. That all that comes into play. It's like a regular family in a comic book.
Yeah, and again, it helps when it's based on my family. I've got the personalities right there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read this book, you're gonna know what my family's like. But yeah, I mean, it was just fun to write, and
it feels like a lot of fun. You can feel the fun in the book as you're reading through it. That's why I can't say it enough. This feels like an 80s superhero book where it's so much fun. It's so much stuff happening. It's a great superhero team book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do, and I hope that people would not look at it and judge it and think it's a kiddie book. It's not. It's appropriate for your kids. There's no messages in there. Like, my daughters want to watch the Babysitters Club, and I watched the first episode with them. My wife watched, and it was okay, so we let them watch. And all of a sudden, they start talking about their periods. Now my 8-year-old is asking me what that is. What are you doing? This is, I mean, now granted, maybe the show's for an older audience, but I don't know that. They don't put, an age rating on it, right?
Not anymore.
My point is, when you read this book with your kids, not only can you get them into comic books and enjoy it, and it's something you can share a hobby with your children, but there's nothing in here that you're going to have to go, oh, crap, now I got to explain this to my kid. There's nothing of that, It's just good, fun superhero and family fun, and I think and hope a few laughs.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of laughs in the books. Like our friend here, Hulkopotamus.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you look at that and you're like, what kind of corny crap is that? So my 5-year-old at the time, she's 8 now, came up with Hulkopotamus. I can't tell you why Hulkopotamus is in the book, but it'll make sense to you when you read the book, and it won't come across as something silly and stupid.
But either way, it's something fun. It's something like you can tell this would come from a kid's imagination.
And that's, well, I mean, that kind of gives it a little bit of a way, but yeah, it's there's another character in the book that has an ability, and basically, Hulkopotamus doesn't really exist until he does. Okay, so he's in my kid's imagination in the story, and he only exists because of a metahuman. So and these panels that I show, they're not the action panels, but they just show you the writing, to show you that so you could determine if you feel I can write or not. And it's a conversation between the character based on me and the character based on my mother, and it talks a little about the new gens and the naturals, and it kind of lays it all out there for you.
Yep. This is actually the part of the book I was talking about earlier, where you actually do a good job at putting everything down and showing the family dynamic and checking, as showing the universe that you're in at the moment.
Yeah, my father he's 76, and he bench presses 125 pounds every day. His arms are huge. He's a guy, and this is a guy with emphysema, mind you, because he smoked for like 80,000 years. And my father's strong as hell, and he was the most intimidating, scary son of a bitch on the planet. And I introduced him in the book in issue 3. And he wants to train my daughters. And my father was never one to hold back. He was he'd just throw you in the deep end of the pool and say, well, learn to swim or you can sink. He was that kind of guy. And then some. So it adds humor to the book because you kind of make fun of it, but at the same time, it's going to add to the dynamics of the family and how this is how he knows how to show them love, by making them strong, right? And we're sitting there going, Dad, you're going over the top here. What are you doing? But it winds up that his toughness actually saves one of the kids' lives. teaching them to be tough. Because when they would have faltered and collapsed because of fear, because they're kids, they thought about what Papa trained them to do. And the one kid survives. And so just trust me when I tell you, just like tragedy, you have no idea where this story is going. Even my wife, and she's my most honest critic, so is my father. She was like, well, how are you going to make this anything but corny or cheesy? But I said, I got, this is where I'm going with it. And she was impressed. And she read the 5 issues and she was like, wow, I love where this is going. I love the pace of it. And I look forward to. I have cool scenes that I have in my head that I can't wait to get to later on, where I'm standing against a whole entire soldier platoon that it wants my kids, and my wife is at home protecting them with my mother, and they think they're distracting me so that they can get the kids. And I'm pretty much telling them, you idiots, with all your science and your knowledge, you fail to understand that the most dangerous thing on the planet is a mother protecting her cubs. Your guys are already done for. While you're distracting me, she's taking care of it,
Right.
And I don't know if you're aware, but certain high pitch frequencies can cause sleepiness and drowsiness.
Yeah.
And they can cause susceptibility to suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell them that, and the next panel, all the soldiers wake up and I'm gone. Because and they didn't even know I did it to them. So there's a lot of cool stuff that comes. I wanted the cartoony feel because honestly, if you look at Rob Powers' work, his action scenes are very dynamic, pun intended.
Always. Yeah.
I mean, I knew that Rob would pull this off.
Oh, he's the perfect guy for this. It's the mixture of his art with his action ability. It really showcases in this book.
Yeah, I knew that his cartoony style, he would get the facial expressions to make the lighthearted part.
Right.
And then his action scenes would be very dynamic and powerful and energetic and moving.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought Rob was perfect for this book.
But one of the reasons why I love Pinguino's Revenge so much is because, as ludicrous as somebody may go, what is this? He sells it with those facial expressions that he does on these characters and his action sequences. Like he gave me a preview of what's to come, and I'm still like, I want it now because
Yeah, I mean, what he did with Pinguino was a perfect seller for me.
Mm-hmm.
He took this anthropomorphic penguin, and which you think was absolutely absurd and silly, and he made it this badass action book.
Exactly.
And it's fun and it's enjoyable, and I knew he could do that for the dynamics, because although there'll be serious undertones here and there, the book for the most part is lighthearted, and it's family fun. It's like The Incredibles, right? It had its moments where it was serious, but for the most part, it's a lighthearted story.
I gotta admit, you got Steph Wilson to do something other than what he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love when he does this kind of stuff because he does it well.
Yeah, I take pride in challenging him. I say, are you done with TNA? You want to put it away, put the circles, the big boobs away for a little while?
I think he should do a children's book because I think he'd really do a good book.
I agree, but sadly, sex sells more than anything. That's why TNA books make 30,000 on campaigns, and I can't break 2,000 right now. So.
That's true, yeah. But his art is just beautiful. I love the sexy stuff, but I always love when he does this type of stuff because it kind of showcases this innocence, this fairy tale. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and Carrie Ann, his wife, does an amazing job on the colors.
Oh yeah,
for
definitely.
His stuff. My wife looks
They're
like
a great
sexy
team.
librarian there.
They are a great team.
And that's Mato Zapata.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is Mato Zapata, and he's another person I rep. And we wanted to go with more action, and it was fun. You had passed the one that Kenny just added on, but it's an
That's a
homage
beautiful
to
one. Yeah, that one reminds me of
X-Men.
X-Men and Avengers.
Yeah, it's an homage to basically the 90s X-Men cover.
Mhm.
And we wanted to go with we had a few that just showed family.
Yeah,
but
we
I
saw them
figured
as we were going through. Yeah,
we'll show a few that have some action because people like action.
but you do a good job with the covers because the covers actually show off the book. Sometimes the cover has nothing to do with the book.
I hate that. And I'm going to tell you now, someday when Philbo is really on the map and people are giving me all this credit in the world for building this empire, so to speak, I'm going to remind everybody I didn't do this alone. If it wasn't for these amazing artists that I get to represent and the faith they've put in me, there would be no books. They'd be all stacks of scripts. I see a lot of back and forth. Writers aren't as important as artists, and artists aren't as important as writers. It's real simple, guys and gals. Respect each other's discipline, because a writer without an artist has a stack of papers with words on it. An artist without a writer is just doing commissions. So we have to respect each other, and there's no who's more important. It's we're stronger together.
That's why I envy those guys that can draw and write.
I know, right? Save a lot of money too.
Dude, man. But also is that whole concept of you being able to put down on paper both ways of what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's true. There's no edits.
Speaking of you and your Legendary Illustrations crew, I like the fact that you added in the art books that we saw in the recent Kickstarter.
Yeah, I even put the video up there so people can get an idea of what kind of art you can see in them. I got a bunch of them. We just fulfilled the campaign. I'll show you Ricardo Silva and Will Playden. Here's Will Playden.
Will's stuff is always amazing.
I mean, dude, what are you paying for a print now? $15 to $25, even $30 at some people?
I really enjoyed going through the book and looking at all Will's stuff. It was just amazing.
Well, yeah, now you're getting a book of 40 prints for $20.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a steal. I mean, you like Orko?
Oh, look at that. That Orko was always fantastic.
Yeah.
He does such a great job with these. They're so dramatic.
And then he goes with this style. Look at how serious that is. That's just incredible. And then there's Phoenix and there's Jason Voorhees.
Beautiful.
And then you got Batman and Daredevil. I mean, look at that. Those are gouache paintings. So this is the quality of art you're going to get out of these art books. You like the Legendary Portrait series? Look at that.
I love his Legendary Portrait series. He takes beautiful care for each character.
Right, and then you can enjoy their separate art styles. Look at this Ricardo. Look at what Ricardo does. I mean, he's Brazilian, so of course women look hot as hell. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Oh, Brazilian women are hot.
So many women from so many cultures are hot.
Exactly. Yeah, he does such a great job of all this stuff. I love his Dungeons and Dragons piece.
Oh yeah, dude.
It just brought back such beautiful memories of the TV show.
By the way, some Witchblade pages. They're sample pages, but yeah, I'll show you that Dungeons and Dragons. Then you got this. I mean, look at that.
He does such beautiful work.
And here's the thing: they have original art tier commissions on there. You guys, you don't have to just buy the dynamics. You've got art books. You've got original art for $225. You can
Looks like you got a customer there. Anvu is saying I'll contact you, Phil, for the art books. I think I missed them a bit back.
They're on the campaign right now.
And you can buy them saying gorgeous.
Who was the one that did the Ghost Rider?
Oh, that's Will, right?
Which Ghost Rider? The sticker?
Trying to remember now.
It's probably Will, because Will did a Ghost Rider
on our show.
Yeah, that's Will. Because I was thinking, because there's a Ghost Rider Wolverine that Rob did. The reason why I don't have Rob's book is because there was one left, and I sent it to him with stuff. Then we got Tragedy 4. Don't forget about that.
Tragedy 4.
You have no idea where this story's going, and I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
Well, I
A
do, but
a new villain is introduced.
at least until issue 8, I do.
Yeah, well, anytime you want the others, I'll send you the scripts, Raph. But
Dude, just send them to my written email, and I'll keep reading.
But I mean, there's just so much on this campaign. There's original art tiers. You can get a full figure, inked with background, 11 by 17 by all of the artists I represent, for $225. And yes, you can get tragedies 1 through 4 on the campaign.
I like that because a lot of these other companies will do a Kickstarter and they'll put the one book in, and I'm like, maybe I want to get the rest of your books.
Well, I mean, Tragedy is my flagship title. It's gotten great reviews from Chuck Dixon, Peter David, and Howard Mackey, and that is just a dream come true for me. So, don't listen to my pitch. Listen to them. Those are big time writers. Hall of Fame writers. And if you know Peter David, he's not going to pull any punches. He'll tell you if it's total shit, and he'll tell you right to your face.
He never pulls punches.
No, and I respect that, and that's why I went to him. I actually expected him to rip it apart, and he did not.
And listen to Written Writ Ralph, because Written Writ Ralph says, Phil here is a great writer. Oh, I love his stuff. He does a good job of putting a story together. And you don't see that anymore.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to tell you I'm a great writer, a bad writer, an okay writer. I'm going to ask you to go find out for yourself.
And that's what
go buy a book and read it, and then you decide.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, that show was fantastic.
Well, I have it, and I have the deluxe rare edition that has their stat sheets to actually play in D&D. I have it right here. I can grab it and show you.
Oh, dude, I love that thing. I think we might have the same one. Does yours have the unfinished last episode?
Yes.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, hang on. Let me show you.
Go for it. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons was a fantastic show. They were supposed to end it the right way. At least on the DVD itself, they have the unfinished episode.
So it's the complete animated series.
There we go.
Right? And then it comes with this book that has how to play them in the campaign.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh, dude,
so
this is one of my favorites. And then it has the discography. And it has the rare, that last one that wasn't finished. And then they got all the books. And then, they got some nice art in here. Like here's Venger. And all the discs.
Great show. It wasn't appreciated when it was out. I think it's now it's more appreciated.
It's huge in Brazil.
That makes sense, actually. And I can see that in other countries it's bigger than it is because I remember the commercial from I forgot which country it was.
It was like Sweden or something like that, right?
They put them in the car commercial. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Dude, they gave you so much stuff, it doesn't even really fit in this box. It's so cool.
I wasn't saying that's the collector's edition, right?
Yeah, you can't. Okay. I mean, I think it's expensive now. I was lucky I got it when it first came out. My kids are on it. I got them watching it.
That's a great show.
It was my favorite.
It whet my appetite for D&D, and then when I finally did D&D, it was just as good as my dreams.
Yeah, I mean, I was following D&D before this came out, so when this came out, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And it was just well made, and it was just well thought out. And this and Thundar the Barbarian, I think, are the best cartoons ever made.
Thundar, yeah, that was great.
That thing could be a live action. It was just so epic.
See, that's the good thing about a lot. That's why a lot of those 80s shows became live action because, they were just fantastic. Speaking of the devil, here he comes. Here's the Wolverine, Ghost Rider sketch from Rob. He does a fantastic job at these mixes.
Yes, he does.
I think my favorite one is the Nightcrawler Hulk.
Yeah, that's a good. I remember when he showed that, he was so excited to show them to me. Guys, we are $69 away from $2,000. Can anyone get us to $2,000?
And there's
I
so
would
much
be
stuff in here
very
for
grateful.
them to do it, man. You just put this chuck full of stuff for them to be able to like get you up there. There's so much. Even if, let's say, the dynamics book isn't something you're interested, there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff. Anna saying, okay, found them. Sorry, I was listening when I'm working. Can't wait to add the new art book to my library. Oh, those art books are fantastic. I had so much
Hey,
fun looking through them.
You got to add the dynamics too. I promise you'll like it.
All right, On, you heard them. Add the dynamics. You'll like it.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. On, actually, I met On, and she bought Tragedy, and she really liked it, and she really related to the female protagonist. So she was very kind in her review of it, and of course, she's done 2 covers since. So
yeah, they're beautiful covers, man. They're amazing covers. And she actually did. I love the one that she did that was on the blank cover.
Yeah, I actually have. She has a third one that I didn't sell yet that I'm going to put up on the next campaign. She has one left.
So people, I see we're nearing the mark here, but I'm going to let the video play. Hopefully, it'll play right because my computer's been acting up. So let's see what happens.
My oldest came up with the name for my youngest in the book, and she called her Little Mighty.
Little Mighty, I like that. That's pretty
and
cool.
And if you know Kaylee, you understand how apropos that is.
Look at Benton Apple. Yeah, it's a great book. It looks beautiful. I'm telling you, folks, I've gotten a sneak peek at it. I am picking it up myself because it's just fantastic. You guys got to do it. I feel like somebody who's coming in here going at the last minute here. So, dude, Phil, give them the sales pitch so they can get an idea of what the dynamics are.
All right, the dynamics is a fun all ages book that brings you back to when comic books were about superheroes and heroism and relationships and characters you can relate to. It's not dark in tone. It's actually more upbeat. It's got humor, tons of action, and it's a family with dynamic powers that love each other, drive each other crazy, but at the end of the day, will always protect each other. It's based on my family. So it's a fun all. If you took The Incredibles and Fantastic Four and all that, the premise of a family with powers, but totally different plot lines, totally different writing, totally different stories, different powers, you're going to get that kind of book that you can sit down with your family and read, and nothing is in there that you're going to have to explain to your kids. But at the same time, you're not going to be like, oh, God, this is so boring. This is for children. You're going to enjoy it. There's a lot of action, a lot of humor, a lot of heart. Because, as a parent, there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect my kids. And at the end of the day, it's going to be that family dynamics, not just the dynamic powers.
So where can you buy it? Right now, I put the link to the book into the comments section. So just follow that link for the Kickstarter, and you can buy it right now.
It's on Kickstarter right now with 22 days to go. We're actually $69 away from $2,000. I'd love to be able to meet $2,000. I do want to let everybody know a couple of things. When you pledge on Kickstarter, they do not take your money until the end of the campaign. So you don't have to worry if you don't have it this second. You can pledge confidently, and 22 days is when they'll take the money out. The second thing is, please understand why books on Kickstarter cost more than in a store. We have very small print runs. I have 41 backers. We're paying upwards of $5 just to print the book. Plus, we're paying to create the book. Kickstarter takes 11%. Shipping is part of that 1931, that gold money that's shipping as well. So we're not making any money. We're just hopefully getting enough money to continue making the book. But I promise you, there's so much on there. There's also tragedy, which has gotten great reviews. There's the dynamics. There's art books. There's art tiers if you want original art from artists. And when you pledge, you're not just supporting my dream. You're supporting artists, editors, inkers, letterers, trade dressers, digital formatters, promoters. You're really you're supporting so many people that want to do this for a living.
Well, Phil, you even got Cadma to say something. So,
hey, Cadma, how are you? How's she doing?
She's busy as heck, but she's doing great. She's usually watching somewhere.
She'd be the perfect tragedy. She'd be the perfect tragedy cosplayer, I'm telling you. Well, beside my wife.
Dude, this book looks fantastic. I can't give it enough accolades. I really enjoyed it. And I feel like people should really pick this up. It's a great superhero family book. And Canva says, thank you. My God, this book looks so beautiful.
Is just one of those people, along with Leslie, that you just, when you meet them, you just feel a good, genuine, sincere, positive vibe. Like you can tell they're good people. You know what I mean? You don't have to hear a word come out of their mouth, but just standing next to them, you get that vibe, that good energy. You know what I mean? And those are the people you need to surround yourself with.
So there you have it, folks. This is Phil Russertt. That is the dynamics. And of course, you can also pick up tragedy and the art books. And, keep an eye on Philbo because it's going to be an interesting ride. And I feel like this would be the best time to jump in on this train ride to success.
Just remember, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Kanema says, thank you so much. So, folks, we'll come to that part of the show where I go, hey, guys, what do you got to say? And don't all jump in at the same time.
I put them all to sleep with my jabber on. Shadow Rabbit's probably already in bed.
More than likely.
I've been in bed the whole time, but I'm still here. I just gotta whisper my name.
All right, so which one of you guys want to start first?
I'll let him go first.
Well, who, Nat or Shadow? Shadow or Nat?
Whoever feels like it.
Is what?
So Nat, we'll throw you in there. Oh, look, Cadma's like, I'm excited. Ooh, she's talking a lot today. And Shadow.
There we go.
All right, so we'll start off with Nat.
No, she said Shadow. That means Shadow goes first.
Oh, all right. So I guess Shadow, you've been thrown into the fray by Cadma.
Cadma, I miss you. I hope you're doing well. What can I say? Support your indie artists, your indie writers, indie comics, and each other, because people is all we got. So we might as well try to get along with them.
Yes, and we know how we are here. We raise each other up. And of course, if you want to get your dreams to become reality, you can always look up Mr. Shadow Rabbit, and he is a maker of dreams, a maker of realities, as he does his magical craft of putting things together. And you can always commission Mr. Shadow Rabbit to make your dreams come true. Is that all, Shadow?
That's all I got, guys.
You forgot Happy Lunar New Year. You're the Shadow Man.
Oh, that's right.
Indeed.
Rabbit is representing us for New Year's, so well, you know.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Kama says, I hope you're doing well. All right, so Mr. Shadow Rabbit. Now, Mr. Nat, what am I looking up?
I sent it in the main chat because
all right, that makes my life so much easier.
Still don't want to work together.
Oh, you sent it in the other chat. Okay.
Yeah, because StreamYard and OBS don't want to work together. I was in for like 2 minutes, and then it's like, hey, we noticed that you're trying to use a separate streaming service. We don't like that.
Flushmallow. All right, here we go. And here comes the magic.
In terms of amazing artists and indie artists, you should check out the one, the only, the Bit-Annapolis affiliated Floofschmallow and her amazing art. And she's doing a couple of things just right now for Lunar New Year.
Ooh,
so
I like
keep your eyes peeled.
Are we gonna see a lunar rabbit?
Maybe.
Now I'm interested.
She's working overtime on it, I'll tell you that. That's why she's not been in the stream.
That is true. Usually she's in there saying stuff to us, especially to you.
Yep, she is grinding away, working on that final rabbit mochi.
Ooh.
Well, check out Flushmallow. She does amazing art. This is there's the Kickstarter that her and Bitsy did, the successfully funded Kickstarter, and now the pins are starting to go out. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh wait, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did the survey like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I did my survey like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to Kickstarter because Kickstarter is on my on one of the emails that I don't pay attention to often. So it takes me a while to realize that it's in there.
But check out Flushmallow. She's available on Instagram and Twitter and all of them other sites.
Yeah.
Just give her a follow, give her some love. And that's a beautiful segue over to our other friend, Bitsy, who has a Kickstarter going on. She has two, actually. One calendar, just about different bunny girls. So if you want some nice bunny girls on your calendar, go follow Bitsy on Isekai Production Studio for a calendar. But if you want, or sometimes you feel like you are trash, she has you covered too. There we go. Right on cue. You can get your trash pin and trash hoodie equipped with beautiful trash colors. Look at that. Beautiful. Pretty. Garbage.
Yeah.
Yes. It is an encompassation of all that you are inside.
Aw. Folks, she's at 555, 19 backers, 6 days to go. Come on, in 6 days. We can get her to 800 in 6 days. We got this, people. Let's help her out. This is some cute trash that you should put on yourself because, you know, sometimes it feels a certain way. And we're cute.
It's okay to be trash.
Exactly.
It's like my league career. Mordekaiser, I never even met her.
Bitsy's fantastic. I love what Bitsy does. Okay, Mr. Chunky, go for it.
All right. So there was some stuff I forgot about last week. So I'm going to try to remember to cover them now. So starting with...
Is there going to be a monkey shrine?
That part I remembered. We talked about that on Friday.
Yeah,
but
we need to keep emphasizing the monkey shrine.
I got to remember the other stuff first, Nathan. All right. So a good friend of mine, Rich Davis, because I forgot about this part last week. Don't
worry about it.
So Rich Davis is working with BR Films to make movies about Cult of Dracula, which is exciting.
I gotta admit, when I heard that thing, I was excited. Cult of Dracula looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see what they do in a film.
Yeah, for sure. I know they're really trying to get what's his name? From the original Candyman, Tony Todd.
Ooh.
I know they want him to be one of the main people in it.
I can see it. I like his gravitas.
Yeah. So that's all the information I know on that. Dirk Manning today announced that he's got T-shirts that you can get
Dude,
for
that
the next
T-shirt looks
2
sweet.
weeks, and only for the next 2 weeks, because after that you can't get them anymore.
He always does that. Now he's gonna have to make me look into my wallet and see if I can find money.
I'm doing the same thing.
You should probably stop buying some figures, man.
Hey, man.
Just chill on the Nendoroid tour, bro.
Hey, they
Throw 'em
don't
under the
charge.
bus.
They don't charge until it ships, Nathan.
Yeah, but then you're gonna be scrambling for more money.
That's months later. Leave me alone.
Months later.
Anyways,
I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
Anyway, you can get men's shirts, women's shirts, and hoodies. They go all the way up to 7X. Let's see.
The Chocolate Factory.
I mean, yeah, there's a Wonka movie coming out at the end of the year, but
the Little Red Ronin free bundle.
Hey, Cam, if you're gonna buy me a shirt, hey.
The Little Red Ronin free bundle by Garrett Gunn on SourcePointPress.com. The Good Boy free bundle on SourcePointPress.com.
Good Boy is a good boy.
Good Boy is a good boy.
Good Boy is really nice.
Just wait till we get Bad Girl.
Can't wait for is it March or April?
For which?
John Wick 4, because we were talking about Good Boy.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's March.
I don't watch movies.
I know you don't. I'm forgetting that guy's name again for the Kickstarter.
Which Kickstarter?
The one I brought up on Friday.
Friday night.
So you put it into the links.
The guest we had Friday said that he knew the person we were talking about, and that he knew about the comic about the brother and sister.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
That, yeah.
So, folks, what I feel Jordan is trying to say here is you should go check out Friday's special Friday the 13th episode and see exactly what it is, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be putting things into the comments.
Let's see, what else can I remember or attempt to remember?
I think you mentioned that. I might as well look that up.
Illuminon.
Ooh, you're close.
I know I am. Man.
Check out our amazing YouTube channel, to which you should like and subscribe.
Exactly.
And also, at the same time, SourcePoint Press is actually making content on their YouTube channel as well now.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's great.
So like and subscribe to them,
and like
tell them the weird guy that keeps talking about SourcePoint sent us to you.
And also subscribe to that other guy. Me.
Oh, you mean horrible Hagar?
No.
But you're horrible.
Hagar is horrible. Horribles. I still can't pronounce it correctly.
No, I said it right. Horrible Hagar.
Whatever.
I straight up tried to shout you out once and forgot your name entirely on it. I was like, it's Hagar. Anyway, it's the guy who's on here.
I'm not the one that made up the name, though.
You're not the one that made up the... Wait, who made up your name?
I went to... I think it was... I think I went to the guy that made that makes Drumsticks of Doom, that makes that comic book.
Huh.
I was like, hey, you know a good name? He's like, this.
It's a
I'm
good
like,
name, dude.
I'm like,
And it's
all
funny
right.
though, when I hear Horrible Hagar, I think about Hagar from the comic strip.
Yeah.
And speaking
So
of Friday's guest, before I forget, and I'll let Jordan continue. Make sure you guys pick up Ennead, The Rule of Nine. It's a fantastic little book. They're at 3,412, 71 backers, 13 days to go. They're trying to reach 4,000. 13 days, we can do that, folks. We can reach 4,000 in less than 13 days. And again, give them some cushion, because we all know that when you're doing a Kickstarter, you don't really make money. You're not really making a profit. You're just trying to get the book out there, then put more money into the book to make more books. So support your local Kickstarter. All right, Jordan, keep going.
all right. So now that I pretty much remembered everything this time, I think the last thing I have to bring up now is something that my good friend Nathan brought up as I started. So
Hey,
March.
Donkey Kong is here.
Yes, March 25th and 26th in Bowling Green, Ohio. I will be at a convention. It's called Anna Marathon. Come check it out.
Yay.
Look at me. I'll be running around as a monkey. Why?
In a maid outfit.
Maybe.
And you will bring your bananas to offer to the Chunky Kong at the shrine located in the center of this convention, where
It will be
Chunky Kong did no wrong. He was involved.
It will be at the panel on Saturday, the 25th of March.
There you go, folks.
What was
Jordan?
Chunky Kong involved in? Everything.
Come find out what exactly he was involved in.
Everything.
Everything. All right.
Epstein?
Maybe. Can't give away all the secrets. Come find
Queen
out.
Elizabeth II's death?
Come to Ohio. Come find out.
Come to Ohio. Go say hi to Jordan. Say, hey, I know you from Bit and Apple TV.
Yeah.
And Hagar is horrible. Horrible Hagars.
Yeah.
Is he currently involved in this worldwide recession? Most likely.
Chunky does everything. All right, folks, there you have it. I put the link to the dynamics in the comment section. Again, go check it out. Let's get Phil to a good number, double his money.
We're 19 away from 2K. We're $19 away from 2K. If anybody would be the hero tonight and get us to 2K.
Come on, folks, you can be a hero. $19 isn't too much, and you get some great stuff. So go check out the dynamics and have some fun. Check out some actual superhero comic books for once. And instead of the Marvel and DC stuff. There you have it, folks. This has been the Written Writ. That is Phil Russertt there. That is dynamics down below in the comment section. And with that, I'll say what I always say. I'll press the button. And where it stops,